Set?
All set.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. These meetings are being covered by Milford TV. We have a big audience here today in person, but we will continue on. First order is our reorganization, which unfortunately we only have 3 members, but what I think we'll do is we'll go through at least the member reorganizations for chairman, vice chairman, and we can probably do some of the signing of documents, because I don't think that's really an issue, but I'd like the other members to be here if this, especially as we may have some of those members. I'd rather not put them on boards or have us put them on boards and them not being here. It just may seem a little strange, so we'll wait for them to be here. But that being said, I'm acting actually as being the vice chair from last time, so I'm acting as chairman for the beginning of this meeting. With that, we do have the nominations for chairman, and I will open that up.
I make a motion for chairman for Joseph Calagione for this year.
Motion for Joe Calagione for chair. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Joe Marias. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Vice chair, is that you, babe? Are you up?
I don't know. Yeah, okay.
I believe so.
Yep, thank you, Art.
I will take a nomination for vice chairman.
I nominate Babe.
A nomination for Babe by Joe Marias. I will second that nomination. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor will signify by saying aye.
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 That's unanimous. Larry, I'm going to ask you this because it did come up. Certainly, I'll take nomination for you as clerk at this point, if that's the pleasure of the board, but we do have money in the account. Do you want us to go out and look for a clerk?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Please let us know if that does become an issue, because it's certainly not part of your job description. Certainly the meeting minutes that you've taken since Karen's been gone have been excellent.
Ridiculous.
And we do appreciate that, but I don't want to overload you, so that is available to you if you need that.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
But hearing nothing, I'll take a nomination for clerk.
I'll make a nomination that we make Larry Duncan clerk.
Nomination for Larry for town clerk. Do I hear a
I
second?
second that.
Seconded by Joe Marias. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll take the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that's unanimous, 3. So for the representatives, I'll wait till our next meeting then, and we'll go through those. Certainly, if anybody is, Joe, you were on the Fair Housing. I was the map swap representative. And Babe, you were on the Public Arts. I'm certainly more than willing. As I talked to Larry, I've attended some of the MAPC swap meetings. We have another one coming up in May. I did plan on attending that, so I don't mind doing that. Fair Housing, I'm not sure if you had any meetings, Joe, or not, but certainly if you're interested in staying on, and Babe, I would assume you're probably still interested in the Public Arts.
Oh, I just love that.
I think we can get the authorizations out, though. I will take a vote for the authorization of the clerk or the town planner to sign correspondence on behalf of the chairman, and to also sign planning board meeting postings with the town clerk. Do I hear a nomination for that?
Joe, go ahead.
I'll nominate.
Nomination for authorization of the clerk of the town planner to sign correspondence and to sign planning board meeting notes by Joe Marias.
I'll second.
Seconded by Babe. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's unanimous at 3. Also, we authorize the town planner to sign our 81P plans and site plans after the board approval, to sign the planning board payroll, and to call planning board meetings, set public hearings, and to set the planning board agenda. Do I hear a motion for
I
that?
make a motion that we have Larry Duncan for that.
I'll second that.
Motion for the town planner to sign the required plan, seconded by Joe Marias. Any further discussion? Hearing not, all those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that's unanimous at 3. Thank you. We can go through meeting minutes from our last meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the meetings as submitted.
Motion by Babe to approve the meeting minutes as submitted. Second?
I second that.
Seconded by Joe Morais. Any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous at 3. I think everybody signed the endorsement forms for the Worcester Registry of Deeds, the members that are here?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all set until next 2 weeks, or if they come in, they can sign that for Larry. It is 7:02, so we do have a continued public hearing on the application of Jason Gomes for 41 Upland Road, Burlington, Mass, for subdivision entitled Gomes Way, 4-lot subdivision on the westerly side of Highland Street.
My name is Giovanni Federa with Federa Engineering. I'm the project engineer. We had a few minor revisions from the last time we were here.
Yep.
I know last time the stone trench that runs along the north side of the street, along the butter, we did put the filter fabric all the way around, so that's detailed on sheet, I believe C10. And then we also added the subdrain that went around the entire roadway. Previously, we just had it on the north side and up at the end of the cul-de-sac, so we wrapped it all the way around. That was another revision. And then we just made a few minor construction notes on the plans to just make sure everything, is maintained, dust control, sediment getting onto the streets. So it is outlined in the stormwater management report, but we added it in the erosion and sediment control plan as well. That's sheet C7. So a few minor adjustments since last time, but I feel that we satisfied all the comments and happy to discuss.
I know these just came back in recently, and I did have a previous discussion, but just for the record, Larry and Liz, you both had a chance to look at the plans as they came back in, and are comfortable that all the changes have been made as we had directed in the last go-through?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We all rely on these.
And also, the board had asked that I reach out to Scott Crisafulli about the stone trench, and as I suspected, it's not something that it's not his preference, but he didn't have basically, I said I didn't have a better option, and he couldn't think of a better option, so, we'll
Okay.
deal with it.
Go ahead.
The option of the water coming out onto the road, making a road, water in the roadway in the wintertime, it's much better than that, so.
What size stone did he use on the, do you know what size stone you're using in that trench?
I think it's 3/4 inch crushed stone, I believe.
I'm just wondering if, because that comes all the way to the surface, correct? It's running, I'm just wondering if you used 3 or 4 inch stone at the top, that it might be easier for him to at least, in terms of leaves and stuff, be able to blow that off and clean it out a little bit easier than having 3/4 stone out there. Because if he gets a big blower out there, or gets something
Oh, yeah.
that he's going to use to suck it in, it's just going to blow it and pick it up. I'm thinking of, a 4-inch stone along the top might be a little bit easier to use, or might be a little bit easier to work with.
So, you can revise
Probably on the-
just to say that above the.
Yeah,
Yeah, above the pipe, yeah, above the filter fabric, yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. The only other comment I had is I'm fine with everything else. I would like to see, I know you referenced an easement for the existing pool. I'd like to see that easement with the wording, and I just want to make sure that what that says and what's allowed in there and what isn't, just so we're comfortable that in fact everything is is fine in terms of what that lot has the rights to do or not do. So if we can just get a copy of that easement, that's something that I think
Yeah.
I would like to see.
We definitely need to get an attorney to write up the legal word.
Well, that's why I think we're looking at it now. I mean, and why we waited till this point is, I don't know, the other members of the board may, and we'll find out, but I don't have any other technical issues. So at this point, asking you to do that, I think is the appropriate time, because it's, we're at the stage of approving it, and that's critical for that one final step. At least there's no other changes that you have to make to the drawing, as far as I'm concerned. Joe, did you have anything?
I don't have anything.
No,
With that, we can, if it's the pleasure of the board, we can take a motion to approve it, subject to receiving the easement and making the change to the drainage, and that way we can close the public hearing if that's the pleasure of the board, but I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing and approve the plans upon the stipulation that there'll be no lot releases until the easement language is, the actual easement is received by us.
I'll second that.
Motion to, do we want to, well, obviously, I guess we have to at least have the change to the plans for the riprap
Yes.
prior to signing.
Right.
And then no lot releases until such time as we see the easement.
Right, and you can't sign it until after the 20 days is up anyway.
So hopefully, we actually have everything by then, which would make things
Right.
even easier, but there won't be any lot releases, at least until we see the easement. So that's a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Joe. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of closing the public hearing and approving the site plan subject to the stipulations as previously stated, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? None. That's 3 in favor.
Definitive plan.
Definitive plans, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
So that's our public hearing. With that, we have no 81Ps tonight. Just to give you guys an update, Larry and I did meet with the MAPC representative. We went through what we envision, what we would like to see in the scope, which is very similar to what we had before when we did this in 2023, when we went out for bid in 2023. The one thing that we did ask the MAPC to consider and to think about is the fact that compared to where we were in 2003, we've really run through our residential open areas. There are hardly any, and we felt that spending a lot of time on changes to the zoning and changes to the master plan for residential areas would be counterproductive in terms of spending money on it. It just doesn't, it's not going to get us anywhere because we're already developed. So changing zoning regulations for those areas really doesn't get us anywhere. And we didn't want to spend that much money on those areas. We felt that, and after talking to them, they sort of agreed, the areas that were of most concern to us were the downtown corridor and the commercial industrial areas where redevelopment is highly probable over the next 20 years, and this plan will probably last like the last one we did, another 20 years. And I won't be on the next committee, I can tell you that right now. No.
Oh, you never know.
No, I do know. I hope I'm alive, but it won't be because I want to be on that committee. But anyways, we did feel that those were important for multiple reasons. There's been a significant amount of change in what you allow in downtown areas. We wanted to make sure we address that. And also what's going in how redevelopment of commercial and industrial sites are being done. And we've seen that ourselves to the old Stop and Shop and what's going in there and that type of mixed use. And we want to make sure we address that. As Babe knows, he's talked about it multiple times, we are getting into electric vehicle, how that affects stuff and what other people are doing, and some of that can be addressed in a master plan going forward. So we did feel that those areas, and looking at those areas, were critical. We have done one of the big things that was in the last master plan, and will at least get picked up in this one, is shown that we've already completed it, is the change of our open space, having a lot of the parcels being transferred to the Conservation Commission, which was, came out of the last master plan, and we have done that to a large extent, so that will be picked up in this plan and updated, so that's something that they will look at. But those were the areas that we wanted them to concentrate on. Larry and I both talked to them about public participation and municipal participation, and we wondered where that would take us, but we sort of all came to an agreement that there needed to be that, to get everybody involved, to get people's thoughts out. You know, I'm sure there'll be some things that really aren't covered by our master plan, that, you know, that's not the place that you're gonna pick it up, that people are gonna ask questions, but at least we'll have those in front of us. They can address them, we can address them, and we can at least say if something doesn't happen in the master plan, why it didn't, because we'll have those questions in front of us. So there will be a public participation process. They will also, obviously, we told them to make sure in the scope that they would keep meetings with all of the municipal boards, to talk to them as to where they see themselves going in the next 20 years and try to address all of those things. So that's where we are. They're in the process, and they are busy. They said to us that they probably wouldn't be able to start this until the fall, which sort of fits with us because we have limited funding at this point. There is some funding in the planning board budget to start stuff, but we will need to go to the finance committee and try to get on the fall town meeting as a capital budget item for this. And we'll see what that number comes back with. Hopefully, you know, within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe it might be a little bit longer, depending on whether we need another conversation with them or not. They'll come back with a scope of work and an estimated budget for that. And so that's where we are with the comprehensive plan. So it is moving forward, and hopefully we'll have something that we can go to town meeting in the fall with.
Excellent.
Excellent, yeah.
Thank you for both, for your participation in doing and helping.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be their estimate too, just everything, just so everybody's aware, is that it's probably a year's worth of work, you know, between scheduling all the meetings that they're gonna have to do these and things like that. If we can start it in the fall, it'll be the fall of the following year before we have a document, probably at the earliest, and could go longer than that. I think based on the last one, based on, you know, the players in town that are still here and stuff, I would assume it to be 12 to 15 months. They've said that they had ones that have gone 2-3 years just because of stuff. I don't see that happening here. I don't think there'll be, and also because the town is so built out, there isn't a lot of issues. The other thing, just so the board's aware, you know, because we've all heard this, the state had given or had monies available for master plans for towns, especially as they related to zoning related to public transportation. And Larry and myself and MAPC looked at that, but we really don't fit into that, so those monies really wouldn't be available to us. And I don't, you know, again, part of the reason is that was really looking at increasing zoning in areas serviced by public transportation to increase the zoning, and we don't really fit into that. And it's also, I don't believe, something that we really want to look into. We're having struggles now in terms of school size and stuff like that. I don't think we didn't feel comfortable that the town wanted to go down the path of bringing in increased zoning in those areas for us being serviced by, you know, a single bus line that really isn't the same idea as being serviced by an MBTA station. So we didn't want to go down that path. So the funding will need to be from the town of Milford in order to get this done.
Yeah, there may be some in that technical assistance program.
yeah.
But you're looking maybe 50, 60,000 if we're lucky,
Yeah.
assuming they have enough money left. So, because it's a competition among the other 101 member communities of MAPC.
So we won't know that for a while, so we probably, the intent is to go forward once we get the number, with that number, whatever that number is, assuming that no funding will be available to us. And if it does, then that's all well and good, but if it isn't, at least we're able to continue and complete the master plan. So the last thing we have on our agenda is there's an article before in the annual town meeting. Reno's not here, but it was an article that he asked the planning board if we would support the use of e-bikes on the Upper Childs Trail. And if you read what the trail is for, it really isn't specific about that. And I think what Reno's trying to do is make sure that, in fact, you can use an e-bike out there. I've been walking the trail recently, and there are e-bikes out there. And to tell you the truth, I see no reason why we would not allow them out there. I don't think it's that much different than pedal bikes, and for those people that need to use an e-bike and want to get out and use the trail, I think it's a good opportunity for them. So I'm certainly in favor of that and of supporting that, but he was looking for a vote from the planning board, so comments from the board.
I went through the article, I see the changes, no big problem, and I agree with you. With the e-bike shouldn't hurt anything.
Joe?
I haven't given it too much thought, but I don't see any issues at this point in time.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to send a letter of support to town meeting, to the Upper Childs Trail Committee, which I would assume would provide that at town meeting.
Well, Joe. I make a motion that we send a letter to support the Upper Childs Trail Committee's article in the upcoming town meeting.
Second.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded to send a letter of support to the Upper Childs Trail Committee in regards to their article in town meeting to allow e-bikes on the Childs River Trail. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous at 3, Larry.
Hey,
With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Joe to adjourn,
I'll second
second
that.
by Babe. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous at 3. Thank you and good evening.